It is almost 10 o'clock. Whoops, let's get over here. It's almost 10 o'clock. Good morning, friends. Is anybody there? If you are, please let me know. It is Friday and the sun has just come out and, well, the clouds have parted. The clouds have parted and it's a glorious day today, a little on the cool side. Let me just adjust that a tiny little bit. But it is 10 o'clock. Okay, very good. Well, let's get started. I have a ton of stuff to show you today. All right, first of all, let me just show you the cards that we're going to do next week. Okay. But first of all, let me tell you that next week, classes are going to be Monday morning at 9 o'clock and Monday afternoon at 4 o'clock. I'm not having class on Tuesday because I'm not going to be here, and I'll tell you a little bit about that later on. But so just to reiterate, Monday our classes, no classes on Tuesday, Monday morning at 9, Monday afternoon at 4. Okay, so that's that announcement. Okay, so let me just show you the cards that we're going to do for next week. By popular demand, this little cute hedgehog card. How stinking cute is this? Look at that little happy hedgehog with the little birthday balloon. So this was one that actually my older granddaughter created for a couple of her friends, and it's just stinking cute. So people saw it here and they said, oh, let's make it. So some of my peeps have already made it, and there are more that want to make it. So this is one card that we're going to do next week. And this is another card that we're going to do next Monday. Good morning, Colleen. Thank you for popping on. Thank you. Kim, good morning, Kim. Thank you for popping on. So this is going to be for Monday. Again, remember, Monday classes are Monday morning and Monday afternoon. There are no Tuesday classes next week because I won't be here, but I'll tell you why in a few minutes. So we're going to make this card. So I'm going to show you how to make that card. But first of all, finally, I am going to show you how to do the salt technique. Now, I know that we talked about this a lot, and I love this technique. It's one that we used a long time, that I did a long time ago, and I haven't done it since, but I'm going to show you how to do this. So, the first thing that I'm going to show you is what you need for supplies. Let me bring this in. Okay. Now, you need a plastic cover, like either a Tupperware lid, or this happens to be one of my plates for my Stamparatus. We don't sell Stamparatus anymore, but this has great versatility. So I'm going to use this. But you can use any surface that's big enough that will allow you to, wait a minute, hold on a minute. Alexa, please turn the volume down a little bit. Thank you so much. Okay. Hi, Deb. Good morning. I'm so glad you're popping on. Great. This is good. So this is one thing that you first need. You need this. Then you need some watercolor paper. Now, I use our watercolor paper. This is Fluid 100 watercolor paper. It's absolutely beautiful paper. It really does the trick. You could use cardstock if you wanted to, but for this technique, I would prefer to use watercolor paper because it's just so much easier. It gives it a greater texture. I think it gives it a nice visual appeal. So this is what I'm going to use. So I have a piece of this. So then I'm going to choose the colors that I'm going to use. Now the colors that I'm using today are 3. I'm going to use Pacific Point, Mint Macaron, and Gorgeous Grape. So what you do is you take your ink pad, and then you take this plastic plate or whatever you're going to use. You could use, as long as it's something that's going to protect your surface. Not that the surface is going to get damaged because this is watercolor ink that we're using. But anyway, what you're going to do then is take the pad and make impressions like this. And then you're going to take the next color. Now don't worry too much about the fact that you've got Mint Macaron adjacent to Gorgeous Grape. It's going to be fine. Don't even worry about that. Okay, so there's another one. And then, and if you really were concerned about ink being passed onto this, you could do one of two things. You could wait until this ink has dried, although that would take too much time. Or you could actually take a paper towel and just gently pat on the top of your ink pad to remove any possible ink that got from Gorgeous Grape onto Mint Macaron. I don't do any of those things, but then you know me, I'm just kind of a lazy, well, I don't know if it's lazy, but I'm not lazy, just whatever. Anyway, okay, so there you go. Good morning, Kathy. Thank you for popping on. So then the next thing I'm going to do is going to take my water bottle, and I'm going to, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it on the side here, and I'm going to spritz it really, really good, like this. Okay, so that is now spritzed. Then I'm going to move this back. There we go, so you can see. And now I'm going to take my watercolor paper, and there is a top side and a bottom side. You could use either. I tend to use the top because it's got more texture. And then I'm just going to gently bring this in, and then I'm going to just bring this in over here, and I'm going to bring this here, and then I'm going to bring this down here. Just pat very, very gently like this, and then, look at that! Oh my God. And you never know what it's going to look like. But now, the quick thing is you're going to take some salt. And what you want to do is you want to have coarse salt. You don't want to have table salt, because table salt is very, very granular. So what you're going to do is, I have this kosher salt. It's very chunky. You can use any kind of salt that you want, but you put that on right away, and then you let it set. Put it over to the side to let it dry. Now it's curled up a little bit. Don't even worry about that. Not to worry about that. So you know what? Since we've got, I'm going to take another piece of this watercolor paper. Let me open this up. I can't even find the opening. Where is it? Hurry up. I want this quick. Here it is. And I'm not even going to cut it. These come in sheets of 5 by 7. Good morning, Barbara. Trying to make sandwiches. Ooh, that sounds good. What kind of sandwiches are you making? All right, wait a minute. Here, let me pull this out. Okay, here's the other piece. And since we've got so much ink here, I'm just going to come back and use this. Get this in. Tap, 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 tap. Smush a little bit. Turn it a little bit. Bring it up here. Tap, 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 tap. Let's see what we, oh my God, how pretty is this? Tap, a little bit of a rub. Here we go. Let's see what this is looking like. Oh my gosh, look at how pretty that is. Oh. You never get the same impression twice, which is totally fine. I'm going to bring some more purple in here. And usually when I do this, I do lots of different pieces at the same time, because as you can see, there is plenty of ink here. And you don't want to waste it. And I don't want the whole thing covered either. There is something very artistic, I think, about leaving some white spaces. All right, so I'm almost done. Here we go. One more little dab. All right, now quickly get my salt on here. You want the salt on as fast as you can get it on, because the salt interacts with the ink. And what happens is it dries, and when it dries, it's going to give a different kind of texture. So let me just move this over here. All right, let me move that. And then I'm going to get the salt out of the way, and I'm going to move this out of the way too. I'm going to move this over here very carefully. And then I'm going to had a few little crystals of salt here on my workspace, so there. Okay, so that's good. You know what, let me get a baby wipe. I gotta get a baby wipe to clean my fingers. Should have had that over there. Okay, here we go. So, now that you've seen how easy that is, the possibilities are absolutely endless. You can use this to die cut. You can use it as a background. You can use it as strips. You can use it as a geometric pattern. There are a gazillion things that you can do with these pieces of paper that you've inked up like this. It's just beautiful. So let me just show you a couple that I've done in the past. Let me just show you. So this one I did, let me bring this in. Okay, this was done with Granny Apple Green, Parakeet Party, and Coastal Cabana. These two. Aren't those pretty? Look at how pretty that is. Now, you can see what has happened here. The salt and the water and the ink interact, and they make these little funny little swirls, kind of like little eddies, I think. I like to call them little eddies. But if you look at it very carefully, you can see how beautiful that is. And this would make a lovely, lovely background. Here's another one, okay? And then I did another one. This one I did with Daffodil Delight, Calypso Coral, and I think maybe I did it with crushed curry, a little bit of crushed curry. And you can see this is cut out. I'm going to show you in a minute why that's cut out. because what I did was I cut some flowers out of this. But isn't this pretty? It's just so pretty. Okay, so while that's drying and setting up, let's go over to the card that we're going to make, one of the cards that we're going to make next week. Whoops, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my supplies for this card. Let me show you again. Everybody gets to see this card. How beautiful is that? All right, so here is this. And now I'm going to bring in everything I need. Now, Mary Merlot is one of the cards that is retiring, the card stock that is retiring, the card stock, the colors, everything. So I decided to make some Mary Merlot cards because I love this color. And a lot of my peeps saw it this week and said, good morning. Good morning. Wait a minute, let's see. Who was here? Cool. There we go. Whoops. I got that looked like it disconnected, but I guess it didn't. Anyway, so I said, let's make some of these. Let me put this down here. Okay, so then I took a piece of the Mary Merlot, 5 1/4 by 4, and I'm going to adhere it to my card base. This is a very easy card, and these, again, I say this a lot, but in truth, this could be a beautiful set. You could box these up and give them to somebody. All right, so here is this. Perfect, like that. East, south, north, east, west, north, south. Okay, there's that. Then the next thing is, I have a piece of very, whoops, where did I put my white? Hold on a minute, that's at the other table. Here it is, right here. Whoops, this is the wrong size. Hold on a second. 1 second, folks. Gotta cut this up. I didn't realize this was the wrong size. But it was, but not to worry. Okay, here we go. So then you take a piece of the basic white cardstock, and we're going to use the stamps from the stamp set Eden's Garden, which is in the new catalog. There it is, Eden's Garden. I love this. I love this beautiful multi-dimensional kind of stamp. And here's the Mary Merlot. And this is a rubber stamp, so I don't need to use anything other than this. And in the lower left-hand corner, I'm going to stamp this like this. Whoops, let me bring it down so you can see it. That's the whole point, right? So stamp that. Isn't that pretty? Look at how beautiful that color is. And then I'm going to take one of the other designs in that set, and I'm just going to stamp it like this. And then I'm going to take this little one, and I'm going to stamp it here, and I'm going to stamp it here. Ta-da! Then what I'm going to do, if you notice in the sample, this white layer is embossed, and this was embossed with Time Worn type. Well, this one I'm going to emboss with Scripty. I love Scripty. This is an oldie but a goodie. So I'm going to put this in. Now I have to go over to my Stampin' Cut machine because it won't fit under my camera. Well, it would, but it would just be extremely messy. Now, the reason that you do this like this is you have to do your stamping first. If you embossed it first, then you would have that irregular edge, so that if you tried to stamp, it wouldn't give a complete image of your stamps. So hold on, let me run this through. Hold on, sing a little song to yourself while we do this. Here we go. Good morning to you, good morning to you. We're all in our places with sunshiny faces. Oh, this is the way to start a new day. You can tell I'm not going to give up my day job. Okay, there we go. Look at how pretty this is. Wait a minute, let me get this out of the way. Now look at that. Isn't that pretty? Can you see that? Isn't that lovely? Okay, so now I shall add a little bit of adhesive. Talk about easy and fast. Here we go. A little bit of adhesive. Actually, it's more than a little bit. Oops, what's going on with this? This must be almost out. Let me get another one. Let me get another one. Whoops. It would be nice if I had one that was, there we go. Okay. And I do put a little bit extra because remember, this has an embossed feature to it. Whoops, that's upside down. All right. Oh, look at that. I didn't cut this right. Oh, Barbara Lash. Okay, now you say there is a problem here because I have adhesive on this, but not to worry. I'm just going to take a piece of paper like this, gently apply it to that area, and then to this area. So I'm going to cut this off. There are no mistakes in Stampin' Up. You know that. We all know that. I don't allow it. It's easy to fix these little persnickety issues, not to worry. So we need to take 1/4 inch off top and bottom. So this looks like 1/4 inch, doesn't it? About. There we go. And then we're going to come in and take 1/4 off this side. Let's see. We might be taking a little bit more than 1/4 off. That's okay. Wait a minute. Let me measure this. Yep. 1/4. Yep. There we go. There's always something, right? Okay, now let me lift this off, take this out, and very gently peel away these little pieces of paper that mask this so that I could, there we go. Not an issue. Good morning. Good morning, Barbara Tominski. Are you at the Malabar River in your bathing suit enjoying the lovely Florida sunshine? I would be if I was there. Or in your pool in the backyard with the palm trees swaying. All right, let's do this again, folks. Here we go. There we go, like this. And add a little bit more there. Okay, now this should be fine. Let me bring this in. Yes, it is. There we go, like that. And then, of course, we have to have a message. Now, some of the messages could be put on flat. You could actually stamp the message before we embossed it. Or you could do it like I'm doing it right now. I'm going to take this little thank you, because I need a lot of thank yous. And I'm going to stamp thank you. Oops, look at that. There's a little mark. Yes, by the pool. Okay, Barbara, I'm envious. Our pool's opening up next week. Okay, there's my thank you. Let me add a little bit of adhesive to this. Let me bring in my second scallop. I like that punch a lot. There we go. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these gems. These are, what are these called? I don't know what they are, but they're pretty sequins, and this happens to match beautifully. So I'm just going to take this. My pick-me-up tool's on the other table, so I'll just use my snippies. That works. And to that, I shall add a dimensional. Let me get one of my dimensionals right here. And we'll use this edge piece because I like edge pieces. Yes, by the pool. Oh, God, how much I would love to be. Well, next week I will, although next week I won't. So I have a secret to tell you in a minute. All right, so here is this. And then I'm going to put this on just like this. Look at how pretty that is. Oh my gosh. What do you think? Isn't that pretty? Now, I am going to take Winky. However, I'm only going to Winky the centers of these little flowers. Just those, maybe 4. Yeah, like that. Just a little bit. I'm not going to overdo it. And then I'm going to put a little stamp on the inside. And like such. There we go. And then I'm going to take my envelope, which I do, you know, this is how I roll. I like to do this. And there we have it, folks. How easy was that? Now, wouldn't these make just a beautiful gift if you boxed them up and gave them to somebody? You don't even have to put messages on. Or another thing you can do is stamp messages and put them on the oval, but then don't attach them. So the recipient can choose whatever they want. Birthday, sympathy, get well, thinking of you, whatever. So anyway, there's that. Okay, so now let me show you something else. We're going to shift gears a little bit here. Now, one of my favorite stamp sets, only because my granddaughter, my younger granddaughter, Abigail, is wicked into sea turtles. So this is the sea turtle stamp set. And I love this stamp set because it's double-sided, and I'm going to show you what that means in a moment. So let me get a piece of paper here, and I'm going to take in this stamp. This is the larger sea turtle stamp. This is the one that has all the dimension to it. So what I'm going to first do is I'm going to open up these ink pads, Pacific Point, Mint Macaron, and Gorgeous Grape. There's a method to my madness. Hang on here. There's one, and here's the other one. All right? Look at this. All right, now what the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my gorgeous grape dauber. Love my daubers. When you have fun tools, it makes the projects even more fun. And I'm going to bring in this dauber, and I'm going to start daubing my turtle like this. Now this is a class that I'm going to be doing after I get back from my little trip, which I'll tell you about. Okay, now see, what I'm doing is, I should have told you, I have this white piece of paper underneath my turtle. So you can see, can you see that? Can you see how that is getting inked up? And I'm not doing it all over the place, but I'm doing it in certain spots, random. And then I'm going to go back and do it a little bit harder because I want some of those areas to be really, really prominent. Okay, that's gorgeous grape. Let's get that out of the way. Now the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to do Pacific Point. And here is Pacific Point. So now I'm going to do this like this and this. This is fun. Daubing. Daubing is fun. There we go, like this. How easy is this? All right, now what I'm going to do is just a little bit like that. Okay, can you see that color being applied here? Now I'm going to take mint macaron, and this is going to be just a little bit of mint macaron, and I'll show you why in a second. All right, now I think I've got enough on here. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stamp, and because this is a water-based ink, it dries very quickly, so I'm going to huff on it. I'm not going to blow out a birthday candle. I'm actually going to exhale all the way around and then bring it in, and I'm going, whoa, I need my Pierce pad. Silly me. Get that Pierce pad because this is a photopolymer stamp. And now I'm going to press. Ta-da. Now ready? Ready? Wait for it. Ready? Oh my gosh. Look at that. But wait, we're not done yet. Okay, so now, as I said, this is a double-sided stamp. So now I'm going to flip this. First of all, I'm going to clean it. I want to get all of that ink off. And then I'm going to turn this around. Take this off the block. Turn it around. Now this other side is absolutely smooth. So we're going to put it down like this. This is completely smooth. I'm going to come in with my mint macaron stamp. I'm going to ink this up. But I'm going to, whoops. Oh, Barbara, you silly goose. You put, that was Pacific Point. I don't want Pacific Point. I want, it has to be mint macaron. There we go. All right. Nice and clean. All right, now I'm going to take my mint macaron. It always pays to read the label. All right, now what I'm first going to do is I'm going to stamp this off my grid paper, on my grid paper. And then I'm going to, wait a minute, let's do this again. Let's do this again. Because I want to get nice and even. Let me see if I can do this. Now I am stamping it on my grid paper, and this doesn't have a Pierce pad underneath it, but this is going to work. Okay, see, I got most of that ink out. All right, now I'm going to huff again. And then I'm going to come in. Now you'll probably see my head for a minute, but let me just get this because I want to get it exactly right. And there we go. Press this down. And then look at that. What do you think? Isn't that wicked fun? Let me show you this way. So now what I would do is fussy cut this out. Now, I have some things that I have to show you. The reason I showed you the sea turtle is because, now this is a secret, don't anybody tell, but next week on Tuesday, I'm taking my granddaughter, she doesn't know it yet, my Abigail, who's going to turn 14 next week. I'm taking her for a surprise trip to Los Angeles because it's her birthday, and she has no clue. She thinks she's coming home from her class Washington, D.C. trip. They're leaving today for Washington, D.C. They're coming home on Monday. Tuesday is her birthday, and my husband, Jack, and I are going up, and we are going to surprise her with a trip the very next day to California. So one of her favorite animals are sea turtles. So I made Abby a book. First of all, here is her birth. Let me bring this up this way. Okay, here is her birthday journal. So when I tell her she's going to California, I'm going to give her this. And here is the sea turtle, like that. And this has a little pen that's attached so that during the whole trip, starting from the time we get on the plane, we can journal, and I'll be taking pictures. Every page I stamped it with one of the stamps from the sea turtle kit. But isn't that cute? So this is going to be for her to journal the trip. Now the next thing I made was I made a birthday card. So let me show you the birthday card. So this is, I'm going to give all the credit to Doreen DeCebus and my friend in New Hampshire who actually made this card, and she did a demonstration, and when I saw it I said I absolutely have to do this. So this is the box. This is a box that's Stampin' Up! Sold. They're all gone. We don't have them anymore, but I have a little stash. But there's the box. It says Happy Birthday Abby. Here's the little turtle, a smaller turtle. Then when you open it up, here is her birthday card, and you take this out, and there is another sea turtle holding onto a balloon. And then when you open it up, there it is. Happy Birthday, Abby. This is called a concertina card, and these are pockets here, and in each pocket is a bookmark. Another one. Cool. And then I wrote a little message on the back, or no, I've got a little message here on the back for her. But what do you think? Isn't that cute? Abby, A-B-B-Y. Some people thought it was baby, but no, it's actually Abby. And it stands up like that. It's called a concertina card because it kind of looks like an accordion, but that's that. So that's why I made turtles this week, to show you how I colored those turtles. So that's that. So then let me show you now. Let's go back, rewind and go back to our watercolor paper. So let me show you that. Okay, that and that, there. Whoops, wait a minute, I want that. Okay, now let me bring in the first one. Here is the first one, the small one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see all that salt? You see all that salt on there? Whoops, there we go. There we go. See that salt? Now let me brush that away into my trash. Brush that right away. And then look at what it looks like. Isn't that pretty? Look at all of those little different lines. That's the chemical reaction. Oh, there's a little bit of salt here that I didn't get off. But that's the chemical reaction that takes place. Isn't that pretty? So there's that one. And the other one, that's not quite dry, but let me show you what's going on with this one. Whoa! Okay, so there's that. All right, look at that. Isn't that pretty? So I'll be able to cut that up. So let me show you one of the cards that we're going to do for Mother's Day. This is a card. I took this inspiration, this template, from, I think it was Gail Ellis. Isn't that a beautiful card? Look at how pretty. And this is using the new Daisy Delight bundle. And this is a piece of basic white, then a piece of white that I used to run it through the, what's this one? Subtles embossing folder. I don't know if you can see that or not. The Subtles embossing folder, just a little bit. And then 3 of the stitched squares, added those on, put a little message that says Happy Mother's Day with a little tiny butterfly, and then I cut out the flowers. And I used the daubers to add different colors to that. So there's that one. But then, remember I showed you that piece of, wait a minute, where is it? Right here. I showed you this piece of watercolor paper that I had already cut out. Remember? There it is. So what I did was I used the watercolor paper and I cut out these daisies. Can you see? See, these are 2 layers. So I cut those out with the with my dies. But isn't that a pretty card? Oh, I think it's lovely. So we're going to be doing this the week after. Let's see, the May 1st and May 2nd we'll do this. May 1st and May 2nd, which is the Monday and Tuesday. So that's it. So let me just bring in this and show you once again what we're doing next week, next Monday. This is what we're doing next Monday. This one and this one. There we go. These are the ones we're doing next Monday. Monday morning at 9 o'clock, Monday afternoon at 4 o'clock. And then the week after that, we will be doing these Mother's Day cards. Okay? And then we will get into doing the watercolor technique cards as well. So let me just check my list to make sure I told you everything. Yep, okay. Now keep it a secret, please, about my little Abigail, because she still doesn't know. So it's getting very exciting. So listen, everybody, thank you so much for popping on. It's been great fun. I'm finally got to show you the saltwater technique, the salt technique. It's so much fun to do. So we will come up with some projects to make cards using that technique. All right. So I hope you have a great weekend, everybody. It's nice here. It's a little bit cool, but not too bad. But I hope you all have a great weekend. And I will not be on next Friday. I might pop on Facebook just to say hi because I will be in California. But I will be back, and then we'll have class again on Monday and Tuesday. Yes, Monday and Tuesday of the following week. All right, have a great weekend. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you so much. Barbara, go make those sandwiches. Barbara McDuffie, go make those sandwiches. And Barbara Tominski, have a couple laps for me.